Hello everyone, my name is Nikki and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my bullet journal 2020 setup. I'm really excited to bring this video to you guys. I've been planning it for a while and I decided to go with an Art Deco theme. Because the 20s have arrived, I decided to do a kind of throwback spread. It's going to be very minimalistic and I absolutely love the way that this turned out. The first page is a welcome to 2020 page, just like I usually do for each month. So what I've done, I will be writing the year 2020 and then underneath in letters 2020. I decided to frame the writing on the page with some Art Deco inspired elements. Just some lines, dots and little diamonds, which I will then be coloring in with a gold pen. I think that this looks really cool and I also use this cohesive font all the way through. You'll see me using later. I wanted to keep the spread very minimalistic because I tend to do some very artistic spreads throughout the year, so I thought that having something minimalistic would help bring everything together and not be too specialized into one certain area. Next, we will be moving on to the second spread in this little setup, and this is the calendar spread. Last year, I had all of the calendars on one page, and then the page next to it had spaces to write all the notes for different events happening in each month. However, I watched a video by the Plant-Based Bride, and she did her setup. I was so inspired by what she did, and I felt that this specific spread that she did really resonated with me, and I loved the way that this looked. I decided to do 6 months at the top and 6 months at the bottom with a big clear space in the middle, and I also wrote the word calendar in the middle as well. I really like this because the spread looks very open. There is a lot of bright space and it just feels very clean, crisp and minimalistic, something that I really do love. And the idea is that underneath each month or on top of each month I can then write down all of the events that are happening. I seriously recommend that you all go and watch her video. It will be linked somewhere on this video so you guys can see it. Then we're going to be doing the grid spacing page, and this is one of the most important pages in my whole entire bullet journal spread. I use it every single time I do a new bullet journal spread each month. It basically is a page where I list down all the numbers of each block and then I divide the page into halves, quarters and thirds. This is very useful when I'm drawing out things because I can refer to this to be able to find out the correct spacing instead of having to work it out each time. Counting squares can be quite a monotonous task, so this does make it so much easier, and I have revised the style from my last year's spread and I decided to use different colors. So I used a brown uni pen fine liner for the numbers, I used a light grey for the thirds, a dark grey for the quarters and black pen for the halves. I also wrote quarter, third, half and also the measurements in centimeters too. Anyway, you'll be watching me making this page, and one thing I have to say about this spread is that it's so precise and minimalistic. I find with the sort of designs and styles that I go for throughout my bullet journal spreads, they're all very arty and quite elaborate, so doing something that's very angular, very precise, having to have a lot of measurements was quite unusual but a new task that I really enjoyed and was very welcome to me. I also thought it would be a good idea to play with the lines. So some of the lines are dashed, some of them have a dash and a dot, and some of them are just a plain solid line. And this helps me differentiate between the different measurements, so the third, the quarter and the half. Moving on to the next page, we have my bullet journal ideas page, and I thought I'd add this right next to the grid spacing because they are both linked. This is basically where whenever I have an idea, I can just note it down really quickly, have it all in one space so everything is together, and it's right at the beginning of the bullet journal so I can turn to that page really quickly. I decided to do a basic block in the middle in which I'll write all of my ideas and just bullet point them, and then surround the page with this little repeating Art Deco design that looks like something on a wallpaper or a piece of architecture. I ended up drawing the shape onto a piece of paper and using that as a stencil so I could draw around the stencil and get the spacing between each of these little patterns on the page correct. And then I used a dark grey uni pen fine liner to just draw it. It was quite repetitive, but then again, I really enjoyed doing this. It was very simplistic and easy to do. And of course, all of my inspirations, everything that I have been inspired by, will be linked in the description below so you guys can see all of the different inspirations or things that really gave me ideas. Of course, I wrote the words BuJo ideas at the top, and I'm leaving a blank space around the text so it will stand out on the page and won't be overwhelmed by the pattern behind it. So yes, if you guys have any ideas for bullet journal spreads that you would like to see, then please do comment them down below. Next, we'll be moving on to the goals and reading pages. Now, I decided to minimize my 2020 bullet journal spread because I felt that there were a lot of pages that weren't really that useful to me. So decided to reduce them down to 2. I do English literature now, so I am doing a lot of reading, but also I like to read for fun in my own spare time, and lately I haven't had that much of a chance to read. And also I do always love to set myself goals throughout the year and at the beginning of the year, because I think it's very important to always have some sort of goal to set yourself or something to work towards. I love completing different tasks and different projects. So I wrote the words goals and reading at the top of the pages, and then added a very similar Art Deco design to the beginning page. A lot of lines and dots. They're basically the same but slightly elongated for the word reading, and instead of 4 dots at the top it's 3, and instead of 3 dots at the side it is 1. Moving on, I'm now adding the finishing touches of gold. I coloured in 2 of the diamonds on the intro page in gold just to add that little bit of sparkle, and then I was flicking through to just think, where could I add some more gold, and I decided to colour in some of the rings in the design around the goals and reading pages, just a little something to add that extra bit of glimmer, not too much because I didn't want there to be too much gold and it to be overpowering. Then I did 2 dots at the side of the word calendar, and then I was also inspired by Plant-Based Bride and her idea of using washi tape. In her video, she used some gold washi tape and put it on the calendar and also the grid spacing page. So I noticed, wait, I have some of this gold washi tape too. I got it from a Paper Gang subscription box. I did an unboxing video if you guys are interested. It'll be linked on the video in the cards, because it's such an innovative thought. Now I can easily see the page when I'm flicking through my bullet journal, and it's just so easy to flick through because these are the 2 most high frequency pages that I'll be visiting a lot. Now we are done and it's time for the flick through. The first page, we welcome the year 2020 with the intro page. Then we have the 12-month calendar from January all the through to December. After that, we then have the grid spacing page and my bullet journal ideas page, so I can jot down any ideas that come to mind. Following that, we then have the goals and the reading page, so I can keep track of all the books that I'm reading or want to read, and all of the goals that I have set and my progress in completing them. And that's it for my 2020 bullet journal spread. Now for what I used. I used my Le Mum journal, a 30cm ruler, a metric circle template. Then I also used Unipen fine liners in black, dark grey, light grey and brown. I also used a gold pen and some gold washi tape. And that's it for the video. I hope that you guys all enjoyed. If you did, please do leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. You can also press a bell to receive notifications when I post a new video. I'll be doing my January bullet journal setup soon, and also you can be notified to every single new video that I post. Hope you all have a wonderful January, a happy new year, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye!